What will happen in Macedonia in 2026? I have no idea, but it will be governed by events, dear boy, events, as the late British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan once said. I'm Jason Miko, coming to you from the foot of Vodno Mountain in Skopje, Macedonia.
And this is Cvetin, also at the foot of Vodno Mountain in Skopje, Macedonia.
Up next, Macedonian Content Farmers Podcast. Stay tuned.
You know, there's all these stories about, guys over in Macedonia who are running these fake news sites.
Number 24 is Content Farms in Macedonia.
Vidite, ako se napravi greška, tak je bide kobna. Nema vraćanja nazad.
So Europe need to remain more sexy lady in the world.
Ajde, majkata!
Gospode je čuva Makedonija I njezinite građane.
Yeah, Mitskovsky is making a deal out of Macedonians coming back to the country, and you see it sometimes. And he made a point that this is because Europe is becoming too far left, and this was like a nice way of saying unsafe with all the demographic enrichment it's experiencing. Mm-hmm. And just like we see it in Poland, in Bulgaria, as the old country becomes more better performing. Mm-hmm. And people have made some money in the UK, in Germany, in Switzerland for us mostly. Mm-hmm. And then they just pack up and come back, and they're still much better off than the average Poles or Bulgarians, but in a safer place back home.
Right. I mean, I know people throughout. Look, this is 2026. So this is my 30th year in Macedonia, and by the way, a very happy New Year to you and our listeners.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Zdravia.
Zdravia, yes. Gordian Blonde, Macedonian Rakia. Not quite whiskey, but
yeah,
okay.
Close enough.
Yep. I bet in these 30 years, I have known people Macedonians and American Macedonians that have come back here. Some have gone back. But I do think you can have a good life here. You do have to have some resources. It does help. I just heard about an American couple from Washington State that are building a winery in Volkovo. Their wines, the grapes are getting are from Tikvash region, of course, but they're building it just outside of Skopje. So
seriously,
yeah, Dusha winery. So
cool.
Soul. So I'm looking forward to that. But yes, to your point about what Mizar is trying to do and encourage people to come back. Because that's one of the persistent problems that not just Macedonia but the region have faced, not just in 2025 and not just again in 2026, but for the past several decades, is the brain drain, people leaving, and you want to try and create an atmosphere where people find opportunity here and find it welcoming and good for their families and safe, and as you mentioned, more conservative as Europe kind of falls apart in terms of its cultural heritage, or worse yet, gives it away, gives it up. But what are the policies that the government is trying to pursue in 2025 and going into 2026 that will help people come back?
Yeah, he said in an interview with Ivona Talavska, he said our work will be to provide that the country is functioning normally. There is no these outrageous injustices we used to have before, like a functional system of rule of law. And then, that's the most of it. That's our job. And then, we still, of course, have a lot of people emigrating because just as we are talking, and this is still novel concept here, and he's still getting mocked about even thinking about this, saying this. But as we're beginning to talk about maybe bringing our people back, countries like Slovenia, for example, they're aggressively courting Balkan people, Macedonians, for their own population replacement. They say at least we have kind of like culturally, linguistically close people.
What was it, brotherhood under Tito?
Yeah.
So, right, yeah. So they, for a while there, I know the Slovenes, I remember getting in a taxi in Ljubljana once and saying, I'm here from Macedonia.
Huh.
And he says, "Oh yeah, we used to all be about brotherhood and unity, but not anymore." So-
Yeah.
But now they are. So
Yeah, you can get like free education in Slovenia. Like I'm not sure about the language. I think you're supposed to cover some course here, but I think they even show some leniency toward that. Like wait for you to catch up, or English in some cases, education. Just so long as you stay there, and they're promoting trade schools. It's not like university, but more like community college. So higher education, but still hospitality. There were like nursing degrees, stuff like that. They would actively promote here.
Well, that, as I understand, all the Meisters have left Macedonia and they're in Western Europe, and so those are valuable skills, as they are in America. We have this debate about the four-year college, the American dream, blah blah blah. Go to a four-year college, spend $150,000 and get $150,000 in debt, and then you got what do you got? Whereas you go to a trade school, become an electrician, you can often have a six-figure income within a couple of years. And no college debt. So
trying to fix stuff at the house, which will collapse eventually. But because I can't get people to come. I can get them on a video call to help me out. Even electricians in some cases, which is like super dangerous.
Yes.
But even there, like, okay, I can't come in the next 10 days. So I'll guide you through it.
No. Yeah. But so the policies the government's pursuing is try and bring people back. Then the other thing, of course, you have to have a good economy if you want people to come back. It helps if you have a positive economic growth. I think in 2025, EBRD predicted Macedonia would end with about 3% overall.
Like that.
They're looking at, again, 3% 2026.
Which is pretty high for Europe. But
it is. It's not, you're not going to get rich anytime quick at 3% a year, but as the British say, that's not nothing.
Micko constantly gets mocked about this as well by the left. He said it's the fourth highest, I think, in Europe, the whole of Europe, and then the left was, he insists that we're the fourth largest or richest economy. That try to twist the words. The point is clear. Like nobody's growing in Europe, but we are the least non-growing, or the best growing among the non-growing.
Right. Yeah. Well, and the pursuit of foreign direct investment is still continuing apace, although I know some of the companies here that came in under Gruevski have either cut back or I don't know if they've left. I haven't done a lot of research. I've been here just for a few days, and I talk to people and try and find out what's going on, etc. But I think some of them
they always announce we're leaving, and then like a few months later they say, okay, we actually sold larger company which continues to work here under a different brand name. They've changed brands, many of them, like number of. But Europe is deindustrializing. One of the points made about this expected return or nests and return of our immigrants is that factories in Germany are cutting down on volume on orders because they're more expensive gas now in the fourth, fifth year of the war. And they're deindustrializing even more than they were before. So that's going to have an effect on us as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, as we look at 2026, events, dear boy, events, and there are certain things that are way outside of Macedonia's control. And that's not just regional, but around the world. But let's stick with the region for a few minutes. The whole issue with Bulgaria. We're contractually obligated to talk about Bulgaria every podcast. They're going to continue to insist that Macedonia makes these constitutional changes. Miskovsky is going to continue to insist that no, there's got to be a better solution, a more elegant solution. Some unique compromises that can be made on their side as well, since Macedonia is being the one asked to make all the compromises on its own. I don't know I don't expect that to change. I don't expect it to go anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the one thing. So politically, the country is stable in the sense that Mickovsky did what he set out to do, vanquishing Dewey, which was the big issue. SDSM is divided internally. They're fighting among themselves. So,
but if you're in the leadership, you get to go to some really nice places to ski in the winter. So
Garmisch-Partenkirchen, like the famous crossword question from Yugoslav days, ski resort in the Alps, in the German Alps. But the one thing that could, put a fly in his soup is that the left is insisting on the narrative that there is now this unique opportunity for EU enlargement with Ukraine and Moldova kind of getting ahead, and then Albania and Montenegro getting all this positive noise from Brussels. But again, I mean, Montenegro was blocked after like months of positive narratives. It was blocked by France. Now
Montenegro.
Montenegro.
Okay, I missed that.
Just like we were.
Yeah.
They blocked them again on the same issue that they blocked us back in the day. Like, we are not ready to admit puny new members who would have. I think we discussed this. The part where Albania was offering to join as a non-EU member, like as a non-full EU member, without the veto power, without the commissioner. Delegating its position in the European Commission to Italy or some other friendly country. So just to make it more palatable for France to admit us, this is one of the big issues. But yeah, I mean, the left is drumming up, and the few EU diplomats in the country who still care and try to help DUI and SDSM, they would say like, well, now this is a huge opportunity. You have to make concessions because you'll catch the train with Albania and Montenegro. Otherwise, you're left with Bosnia and Kosovo and whatever Serbia does with itself. But yeah, this is the one thing that could be a problem for Mickoski, and he did try to resolve it last year by trying to get the European Parliament to give us identity, nationhood, language guarantees. And he was on the verge of securing it. He got like the draft version to his favor, to our favor, but then Bulgarians mobilized. They delayed the vote, bought some time to lobby the other members of European Parliament, and this thing fell through. And now Mickoski's his latest, like, I think it was the New Year statement or around the New Year, he's now saying, okay, but we also want reciprocal rights for the Macedonians in Bulgaria, in accordance with the Bulgarian law, as two equal sovereign countries should do when they arrange matters between themselves, which in Bulgaria would be much lower than what they're asking for the Bulgarians in Macedonia to be included in the constitution. In Bulgaria, they should just include like Macedonian one or two representatives they have like an advisory council for minorities, not guaranteed members of parliament, not members of parliament with double, stronger voting rights like in Macedonia, not being mentioned in the constitution, no television, national holidays, none of these things that Bulgaria is asking from us. But still, Bulgaria would have to acknowledge a Macedonian minority by adding somebody to this council. And yeah, this would be, even this small gesture would be impossible for Bulgaria.
Impossible because they simply don't want to do it. Yeah. And irony of ironies, the Bulgarian government just fell in the past week or so. So they're going to have new elections within the next 6 months or so.
Yeah, it's probably, that is why the realistic path forward is if this Rama-Macron plan goes forward. They finally declare that you're joining quickly, actually, but without all the powers of a full EU member state. But you will still get most of the money you would get. I mean, Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania, they get a lot of the money they get because they have veto power, so they can block things and then extort money. We wouldn't be able to do that, but maybe just by the default formula for new members, we would still get much more than we're getting now. But then the Bulgarian veto would not apply to us because it's a convenient, elegant way out for everybody if Bulgarians want a way out.
They may not, It may be one of those domestic issues for them that certain parties can keep playing on.
It hasn't helped the parties that are playing on it, really. like Vmero BND was playing this card, and they had a couple of election cycles without seats in parliament at all. And they were issuing passports hoping that these people will then vote. And the Macedonians who took a Bulgarian passport will vote for them. None did. But still I assume it's going to be difficult for anybody.
It'll also be interesting to see. So Bulgaria just joined the euro on January 1. And typically when, especially the poorer countries of the EU have joined the euro, prices have gone up, which is not going to help their political situation domestically. I mean, again, just looking at the past 5-6 years, I think they've had, 7 or 8 different governments, I think. It's the joke used to be on how often the Italians changed governments, and now it's the Bulgarians. So there, I don't see any political stability in Bulgaria in 2026, which is not going to help the Macedonian position.
Yeah, I mean, our side keeps saying, okay, if some of the EU countries really cared about this, like one of the big ones, they could solve it in a very short order of time. They could just call Sofia, and especially if it's like a caretaker government, it should be easy to do. But the caretaker government is usually appointed by Radev, the president. Sometimes they rebel against him. So practically he appointed this urban liberal party, which now exists solely because he appointed a couple of people. I assume he thought he can control, but then immediately they started essentially cannibalizing his own party, the BSP party, the Socialist Party. And he's a hardliner on our issue. Whenever there is an incident in Macedonia, immediately, like every now and then, a Bulgarian here says, "I've been attacked, I've been beaten up," and then
help! I'm being oppressed.
And then he immediately gets acknowledged by the Bulgarian government, taken under protection. Usually means gets an apartment or guard in Sofia. Audience with the president, the foreign minister. There was only recently such an incident by an elderly journalist who's been active on Bulgarian issues for a very long time, Perev. And there was a report, and then I think he left back for Bulgaria, and haven't heard about him in weeks. Mitskovsky denied, like he was actually pretty outspoken, like, oh, this is a fraudulent attack. Bulgaria rebuked him immediately. So these things will happen
from time to time. So as Bulgaria, Kosovo, they just formed a new government, I believe. Kurti finally, or he won the majority in the elections, and now he's got to form a government. But I think he got more votes than the last time around.
I think so. Yeah.
So. But that's always going to be an effect. But looking internally again, so you mentioned a moment ago how Miskovsky was able to basically vanquish Dewey. Gruby is nowhere to be seen, so no clue there. Ahmeti, I know he had his big little wingding speech, etc., on the square in late November.
So but the Albanian party in the government also endorsed the meeting because it was going to be like an all Albanian, not a partisan event. So Ahmeti did score some points, but not conclusive points. He was then re-elected as party leader.
He's always been the party leader. There has never been another party leader of Dewey since they were formed in 2002.
He new leadership, but people from the inner circle of the leadership are also facing criminal cases. And now we have the chief prosecutor resigned. He was protecting a lot of the SDSM and Dewey people from prosecution. The government was, by the end, visibly extremely annoyed by this person. And now he was going to be replaced in parliament. He resigned like a few hours before the vote. There is an interim chief prosecutor, not a Vmero person, but we'll see. Not at the moment, not seen as an outright SDSM Dewey person like the previous guy. So now the cases against Dewey officials might be going faster, moving ahead. more forcefully.
Mm-hmm.
And some of his top people are facing serious corruption cases, and his family members. So, and now with the election in Kosovo, practically Kurti is close to the Albanian partner in our government. So now this is like a reinforced base for the practically Kurtis branch in Macedonia, a reinforced base of support. While Ali Ahmed is relying on Edi Rama. Edi tried to help him. He managed to bring out one of the Albanian parties out of the coalition, weakening the government before the local elections, but this was not decisive. This did not, in the end, the government's Albanian partners, Izzet Medjiti in particular, greatly outmaneuvered Ahmeti. So, and yeah, he deservedly now holds significant control over the local government in the Albanian areas, the Albanian portion of the government.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this process will go on, like weakening Dui, while at the same time, every few days some other faction shows up in SDSM. There is a now vocal Skopje-based faction. A person very, very close to Radmila Shekerinska, Jovan Despotovski, you may remember him.
Oh yeah,
We would talk about him about corrupt grants he would award as director of the innovation fund to SDSM people. Like, you come up with a fake innovation and you're given like hundreds of thousands of euros for inventing like a self-uncorking rakia bottle or something.
That's just by itself, that sounds terrible, because there's a great pleasure in being able to uncork it, and the sound that comes from that.
Not the same.
Yeah.
So he's now practically, it's almost Shekerinska leading the coup in SDSM in Skopje. Strumica and Kumanova factions are active. So, and SDSM have gone crazy. They have gone off the deep end. They have some new PR advisors from Serbia, apparently. We can generally suspect that it's Frčkovski and his son. But also, so all of their comments are written for the Serbian audience. It's Mickovski and Vucic. Vucic and Mickovski. They're sounding like as if they want to export the colored revolution in Serbia into Macedonia. They went very aggressively on this British media story that our government is talking with the British government to admit failed asylum seekers from the UK.
Right. Yeah.
Stories like this show up in the UK every couple of weeks. Like one week it's Kosovo, which actually accepted. 1 week it's Bosnia, which rejected them. 1 week it's we are bringing in one from France. We're returning one to France. This 1 for 1. So the government keeps coming up with new schemes how we will expel the migrants. And I guess it was our turn at one point that we are mentioned in this context, or maybe it was something arranged with SDSM, because SDSM have been known to plant articles in the British press. It's not too difficult to... the articles did not cite their sources. We had this famous article in which SDSM people cooperated with the Telegraph to harm David Cameron days before his election. So that badly soured our cooperation with Cameron and in Gruevski's days. So they've been known to do this. And SDSM went extremely aggressively in this, like using talking points that even the far right here wouldn't use against the migrants at the peak of the migrant crisis. They're vectors of illness. They're going to rape people here. The government will put them in all the new apartments built in Skopje that are left unsold. Like very unhinged rhetoric from a Soros liberal, until recently pro-open borders, a national, a religious party in Europe. Like that's
the usual suspect. Yeah.
That they would become aggressively great replacement types overnight. It was very interesting. So, and they're churning out these statements, couple of those a day. Government sold out the country to the migrants. They'll all come to rape us. They're working for Vucic in Serbia, and they're fighting with Gerovski personally, like using slurs that we used against him when he was working with SDSM in the color revolution. Very, very crazy.
But none of this PR activity is gaining traction, is it? Yeah.
If we actually see migrants, it might,
but you're not.
We're not having any migrants.
Right.
We have some workers from Nepal or the Philippines.
I've heard about that, and a friend of mine is HR director at one of the big brand name hotels. I won't say what, and she's got Nepalese, Africans, people from Afghanistan, Russians, all kinds. So it's a practically a United Nations of gathering working here. So
we have Turks moving in, at the same way that we are going to Slovenia to study. Turks are coming here. Several theories about this: avoiding the draft. Families that are politically, unpalatable to Erdogan. It's still Europe, cheaper version of Europe. So that's one immigration issue, and then these minor numbers of workers here you see here and there in construction or hospitality, but that the government would take money to bring in the people rejected from the UK and put them in camps. That's really far-fetched. But this is the SDSM narrative, and Vimera just keeps responding, okay, tell us about your investments Zaev and Filipc are having in Dubai, or the latest arrest of corrupt people in relation to coal mining in Bitola, the government contracts. Oh, by the way, the thing I think I've discussed it here. I can't find it in which podcast. I kept warning about this. I can't find tweets of mine on the issue, but Zaev cut down coal mining in Bitola.
Okay.
Set up private companies for importing of electricity. Gave contracts to companies linked to his brother to dig coal, what little coal was actually dug in Bitola. And then started importing coal, again through politically linked companies, in Albania and Greece. And I kept saying, guys, this is going to put us in a difficult position with regard to Greece, because they will not close the border. They will fake a strike at the border, like custom people going to strike. And this is going to be their way to leave us without electricity whenever we try to reassert some independence with regard to Greece. And this is actually happening now for several weeks. There are farmer protests, I'm making quotation marks, blocking the main border crossings with Greece. And we are now facing problems with coal transit, as well as oil imports because of the sanctions Trump is putting on Lukoil and Russia.
All in the middle of winter.
Yes. So this move, this has actually happened now. We've been talking about this. It's now happening.
Energy has always been a big issue in Macedonia as long as I've been here. Trying to figure out the right mix, so they're not too dependent on one or too dependent on the other. Let's talk a little bit about the diplomatic situation here. So Angela, I almost said Angela Merkel. Aguilar, the U.S. ambassador, is on her way out, recalled by Trump along with 30 others, so ambassadors around the world. Kind of out of the blue, don't know why. She's a career, she's not a political appointee. So, and I think she was nearing the end of her term anyway. She's been here for at least 3 years.
I think she was past her term.
Yeah, so she'll be leaving. Not that, a year ago, I'm sure with her involvement in that of the staff of the embassy, Artan Gerbi was put on the blacklist. So that's a positive thing that she did, or helped to facilitate. No idea who the next one would be. I know we talk internally and offline about folks that we know that would make a good ambassador from the U.S. to Macedonia. Don't know what the possibility of that is happening. I'm not going to mention any names here. Other ambassadors, we used to, again, I go back in my 30 years of experience here and thinking about the immense involvement of the international ambassadors here over the years, and how I think I often thought it was a really bad idea when the average citizen on the street knows the name of the U.S. ambassador. And I love citing the statistic that most people in Switzerland don't know the name of the Swiss president. So far too much influence from the ambassadorial corps here.
No, the others are decapitated without American guidance. There is some attempts from the German ambassador, even though there was some hope that now that Germany finally has a conservative foreign minister after, I think it was 70 years. The CDU has a foreign minister, that there might be finally some change in their openly, blatantly partisan approach in Macedonia as well. But she's making some noises in support of the left. But they have really nothing to offer. Like the EU thing has been so completely shot through, indefensible. SDSM as a party is divided in two precisely because of this failure of the EU countries, of the EU to deliver an enlargement, and then what's the credibility of their ambassadors here? Like next to nothing. They have to tell us stories about Montenegro and Albania eventually joining, and like in 1 or 2 years, and that's very unrealistic. They're actually talking about 28 or something, completely unrealistic. So they're grumbling in the background. It was very clear they wanted to have Dewey win, and then Dewey be admitted into the government, then become a thorn in the side of the government. We have a Greek EU ambassador, like Greek, who was very reserved, but he was making some noises around the elections. Then things didn't went their way, so now they're I guess regrouping now, and without the US funding their NGOs and giving political guidance, and I mean, it's pathetic that if the EU alone cannot even do a regime change in Macedonia, but I think that's where we are at.
Okay. Had local elections here just in the fall. No elections scheduled for 2026, but in a parliamentary system, of course, that can always change on a dime. But Moskovsky hasn't said. I think he's against having parliamentary elections early. There's no need for them right now.
He has said, we're trying to focus on stability for economic growth and predictability. He was especially, Alexander Nikolovsky, the deputy foreign prime minister and transportation minister, he was especially annoyed that some of the flagship infrastructure projects, which are driving this 3% growth, had to be put on hold during the local elections, because a lot of stuff are put on hold.
Right.
And the idea is, okay, let's give it a rest for a while. But still, Mickovsky always makes, especially now that SDSM are pretending to be like this aggressive, in-your-face, outspoken, assertive party, he always tells, but we are ready for it, like, don't tempt us, don't push your luck. And it would help maybe Vlen, his Albanian partner, actually trample Dewey, actually really retire Ahmeti. But on the other hand, it might be too much hassle for this one issue, which is happening anyway. So
right. And then switching to global events, dear boy, we're actually recording. This is episode 197, so close to 200 of the Macedonian Content Farmers Podcast. We're recording on Sunday, January 4. So we're just tiptoeing into the new year, and already in the new year, we've had a major global event with the capture and extradition of Nicolas Maduro and his wife from Venezuela to New York to face
from one communist hellhole to another.
Yes, the irony has been pointed out that the mayor of New York is basically a communist who on the January 1, when he was inaugurated, talked about rejecting the frigid the frigid rigidity of individual
or the warmth of collectivism.
yeah, embracing the warmth of collectivism. Yes. So and then all the memes, etc., that flew in the face of that. So unfortunately, I don't think he has any control over the trial that Maduro and his wife will. And of course, we still don't know what the governing situation is going to be like there. Anyway, that will continue to play out. We've got the Middle East, which is always a hot spot. I know that President Trump had Bibi there. That doesn't affect Macedonia as much as the Ukraine-Russia issue, which will still, I predict, will continue to drag on. I don't predict any into that anytime soon. And then the other big one on the table is, of course, China-Taiwan. And Xi has made it as a central point of his legacy to recapture one way or the other Taiwan and to make it one China again.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect Macedonia directly, but insofar as chips are concerned, and I'm not talking potato chips.
Yep.
The whole chip industry, which runs everything that we are recording on right now and everything that you're listening on right now, etc. That would be a huge issue. What's it? TMSC, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. They're building a couple of plants in Phoenix, Arizona.
They were coming here.
Yeah.
They were scouting Macedonia as well.
Really?
At one point when it looked like China might go, like a couple of years ago, and it all looked very scary to have all these magical companies producing this magical product in one island that they can move it to another island over there. But we're putting banking a lot on the high-speed rail project, whose only purpose, obviously, is to transport Chinese goods to Europe, cut shorter the trip through Rotterdam, through the Mediterranean. And it's a big gamble. I assume that even in case of war with China, and China attacks Taiwan, I don't see like Europe ending trade with China. It hasn't stopped trading with Russia, still imports their gas and oil. But will the Suez Canal, the Red Sea crossing be still safe? They might have to go all the way around Africa under different circumstances. Now with Somalia, Israel moving into Somalia, and Iran.
Somalia in Minnesota or Somalia in Somalia?
Yeah.
So,
Oh my God. That's a crazy story, man.
Yeah.
We're not even getting the Chinese to build it on their dime or as a very soft loan to us. We're building it with a loan we're taking out ourselves from the UK, softer.
This is all part of the UK deal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Basically, UK is building a railroad, our section of the railroad through the Balkans, meant to carry Chinese goods. There is no other purpose to it. And it's a regional project. We have Greece, Hungary, Austria, Serbia, of course, all involved in this. But it's a gamble. Like theoretically, it would generate tens, even maybe 100 million a year that would go to pay off our loan to build the thing. We have to do it. Otherwise, Bulgaria will build it, and then we'll lose any strategic relevance we have in the region. On the other hand, it is a gamble. So we might be affected by a Taiwanese adventure in this regard.
I think the world would be affected. It's just in different ways in different parts of the world, etc. And of course, there's a question of would the U.S. even get involved? I have no idea. So, not to mention how that affects Japan, South Korea, Australasia, etc. But we'll, I guess one way of looking at it is, since there's absolutely nothing that you or I or anybody listening to this can do about any of these things, really, there's a certain sense of calm and peace in that, knowing that well, you can be a spectator and watch it and
monitor the situation,
right? And as events creep up on you, you can plan, for your family and yourself and your friends, etc. But there's a limited number of things you can do in this globalized world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not advocating becoming a prepper.
Yeah, well, doesn't hurt.
Right. But yeah, it would be trite to say it's going to be an interesting year, because every year is interesting in its own way.
Yeah.
We're at the beginning, looking forward to it. Looking forward to coming to Macedonia a couple more times. I'm going to celebrate 30 years here in May. That's a not insignificant milestone. I came here on May 25, 1996 on a 3-day trip. I said I would come back and stay for 3 months. And now, nearly 30 years later, I'm still here.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of me.
Cheers to that. I'll be celebrating, 48 years?
48 years, yeah, but you didn't leave. Well, you didn't leave, so yeah.
Well, maybe discount a couple I spent elsewhere, but yeah.
Exactly, right. So, yeah, maybe we'll do another one of these before I take off. So,
sure.
And see where we are, and then we got to plan something for the 200th. I have no idea what.
Yeah, we're supposed to get it 200 before you come here, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we know. I know it's been 2 months. And, yeah, we got lazy. We got we didn't get lazy. We've got other things going on. It's called life.
Yeah.
So
day jobs,
family. On my side we have Thanksgiving, and then our Christmas, and then this is work. That's an important thing. So hey, I'm glad we're able to sit down and chat a little bit about the year ahead and plan for that. And since New Year's occurs before Christmas here, we wished everybody a Happy New Year at the beginning. We wish everybody Srećan Božić, Merry Christmas. Amen. Navastina se rodi. And we'll catch up in another couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Take care.
You too.